She humiliated her best friend in front of everyone, laughed at her poverty, said she would never amount to anything in life. But what happened 5 years later was so brutal, so unexpected that even I was speechless. This story will make you believe in karma. Stay until the end because the ending will leave you speechless. Hey everyone! If you enjoy stories of fate's justice, leave a like and subscribe to the channel because there's a new story like this every week. Alright, let's go. This story took place in Miami, Florida. Meet Brittany and Nicole. They were best friends since they were 12. Inseparable. They slept over at each other's houses, shared secrets. That sisterly friendship. But there was a catch. Brittany came from a wealthy family. Father CEO of a tech company, mother socialite, mansion in Coral Gables, yacht, a life of luxury. Nicole was the opposite. Single mother working as a cleaner, father who abandoned the family. They lived in a small apartment in a somewhat rough area of Miami. But that was never a problem between them. At least, not at first. Everything changed when they got to high school. Brittany started hanging out with a different group. You know, those rich, pretentious girls obsessed with Instagram and TikTok. And she started to change. She started making mean comments about Nicole. Like, Nicole would show up wearing old sneakers and Brittany would say in front of everyone, "Girl, those shoes are literally falling apart. That's embarrassing." When Nicole couldn't go to an expensive mall, Brittany would say, "Oh right, I forgot, not everyone can afford nice things." Nicole tried to let it go because she was her best friend. Right? She thought it would pass, but it kept getting worse and worse. Brittany started excluding Nicole from parties. She stopped posting photos with her. She started calling her a charity case to her friends. It was constant humiliation. Then came the worst day. It was Brittany's 16th birthday. Huge party. They've rented a beach club, a famous DJ, everything extravagant. Nicole wasn't invited, but she showed up anyway with a gift she'd bought with money she'd saved working at a cafe. It was a simple necklace, but it had a heart. She arrived at the party and Brittany was furious. In front of literally 100 people. Brittany grabbed the gift, opened it, looked at Nicole and said very loudly, "Are you serious right now? This cheap garbage. Did you steal this from a dollar store? Nicole, you're so pathetic. You and your mom cleaning toilets, thinking you're gonna be somebody someday. You're nothing. You'll always be nothing. Now get out of my party before security throws you out." Guys, the silence was brutal. People were shocked, but no one defended Nicole. Nicole started crying right there, threw the gift on the floor, and ran away. And Brittany, she laughed. She posted on Snapchat, "When poor people crash your party, LOL," with a laughing emoji. The friendship ended there. Destroyed. Years of history thrown away. After that day, Nicole changed schools. She couldn't stand seeing Brittany every day. She went to a public school on the other side of town, worked after school to help her mother, and studied like crazy because she knew that education was her only way out. Brittany, she stayed at the expensive private school, living the life of a princess, posting about her luxury on social media every day. They both graduated. Nicole got a full scholarship to the University of Florida. She studied biomedical engineering, did internships, published research, and got top marks in everything. She worked as a waitress at night and studied during the day. She slept 4 hours a night, but didn't give up. Brittany went to USC in California, partied more than she studied, changed majors 3 times, and didn't take anything seriously because she knew her dad would find her a job anyway. 5 years passed. Nicole graduated with highest honors, completed an accelerated master's degree, and started working at a biotech startup. She was brilliant. In 2 years, she developed a revolutionary algorithm for cancer diagnosis that caught the world's attention. Scientific journals were talking about her. She received awards, and the startup's value exploded. At 25, Nicole was a co-founder of a company valued at $80 million. And Brittany, she barely managed to graduate. Her father was supporting her life in California, but then the unthinkable happened. Her father's company collapsed, mismanagement, enormous debts, plummeting stocks, total bankruptcy. The family lost everything. The mansion, mortgaged and seized by the bank, the yacht, sold, the accounts, empty. Her father fell into depression. Her parents divorced. It became complete chaos. Brittany had to go back to Miami, but she no longer had a mansion to return to. She stayed in a cheap Airbnb with the little money she had. She tried to find a job, but had no experience, no real connections, nothing. Her resume was empty. Parties and Instagram photos don't pay the bills. After 3 months of sending out resumes and being rejected, she finally got an interview. It was for a lab assistant position at a biotechnology company. The pay was low. It was basically manual labor, but she was desperate. On the other side of the table, Nicole, but not the poor, humiliated Nicole of years ago. Nicole was in a business suit. Confident, powerful, she was the company's chief operating officer. She would be conducting the interview. The shock on Brittany's face was visible. Nicole remained calm and professional, but you know that inside she was reliving it all. Her 16th birthday, the public humiliation, the necklace thrown on the floor, the words, "You'll always be nothing." Brittany tried to do the interview, but she was trembling. When Nicole asked about experience, Brittany had to admit she had practically none. When asked about technical skills, Brittany stammered it was painful. No meio da entrevista, Nicole parou, olhou nos olhos da Brittany e falou, "You know, Brittany, you still remember what I said to me at your sweet 16, that I was nothing, that I'd always be nothing. Do you remember?" Brittany broke down. She started crying right there, apologizing, saying she was young and stupid, that she'd lost everything, that she had no one, that she needed that job to eat. It was humiliating for her, but it was nothing compared to what she had done. And here comes the part that defines everything. Nicole could have gotten revenge. She could have said, "Now you feel what I felt," and refused the job. That would have been perfect karma, but you know what she did? Nicole respirou fundo e falou, "Brittany, you destroyed me that day. You made me feel worthless. But you also made me stronger. I'm not going to hire you for this assistant position new." Brittany fechou os olhos, esperando a rejeição. Mas Nicole continuou, "I'm going to put you in our training program. It's tough. It's 6 months. You'll work harder than you ever worked in your life. If you complete it, you'll have real skills, real value. But if you slack off even once, you're out. This is your second chance. What you do with it is up to you." Brittany couldn't believe it. She accepted, crying and grateful. And she really changed. She worked like she'd never worked before. She arrived first and left last. She was humble, asked for help, and learned. Nicole didn't go easy on her, treated her like any other trainee, but gave her the opportunity. A year later, Brittany is still there, working hard, building her life from scratch. She made a public post on social media apologizing for the horrible person she was, especially to Nicole, and acknowledging that losing everything was the best thing that ever happened to her because she finally saw reality. So, what's the lesson? Never judge or humiliate someone based on their financial situation, because life can change in the blink of an eye. What goes up comes down, and the person you trample on today might be the one who decides your future tomorrow. Treat everyone with respect, not because they might help you later, but because it's the right thing to do. Period. And Nicole. She proved that character, hard work, and resilience are worth more than any last name or bank account. She could have been cruel, but she chose to be better. So, what would you do in Nicole's place? Tell us in the comments. Leave a like if this story impacted you, subscribe, because there's much more to come, and share with someone who needs to hear this story. Thanks everyone. See you next time.